All right. Let's do this. Let's do our administrative things, and then we will get officially started on another Thursday night. All of my technology today has been special. So let's do this. Oh, man. Okay. Well, this is going to be our YouTube peeps. All right, guys. Well, hi. Hello. Welcome back to another Thursday night Greenville Gab. We are here live to answer your questions on the stream. So with all of that going, let's go ahead and you know what? I am still having some issues. So hold up. Give me a second here. Nope, not doing that. And oh dear. You know what? We are messing up on some things tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, okay. So this week has been a lot. Today has been a lot. Hello, welcome to the Greenville Gab. I'm Aubree, as you know, and here we go. We are starting again. And man, last week, just the last like 2-3 weeks have been a lot. We didn't have the show last week. I had an event that I needed to go to. And so we have this week, and real estate's doing some funky stuff. I feel like this is the conversation I've been having for weeks, months. I don't know, definitely months at this point, that we have had just weird real estate conversations. And it's definitely one of those where sometimes we're holding on for dear life, and I'm having other conversations at the same time, just wondering, like, what is happening? So it's been a lot, y'all, like between being a real estate agent, a realtor, a wife, a mom, a friend, everything, a boss, a leader, you just do it. So anyways, yes, if you're watching tonight, I have my chai tea ready to go. And man, I've already had the glass of wine earlier today because it's been a day. We actually, and we'll just do story time real fast, thought I had a contract on a property last night. And I mean, it was beautiful. Everything was great. We were accepting it the way it was written. And then I guess the buyers slept on it and then woke up this morning and changed their mind. And we had 2 signatures before we were under contract. So it was a lot. It was a lot of emotion this morning. And I think that's something that a lot of people forget about whenever they are buying houses, is just how freaking emotional it all is. And today was just one of those days. We had another house that was under contract a couple weeks ago, actually, and it fell out. And at the time, we were just told that the buyer didn't have funds and that the buyer had actually gone and spent their down payment money. Yes, it happens. And then, so we've been fighting about some earnest money things and whatnot, who gets the money for the good faith funds and whatnot. And today we made the final call that we were going to release the earnest funds because of a technicality in our contract back to the buyers. I called my client just for my client to say that they had looked up this specific person in social media. And yeah, and the buyer for their house, the way he spent those funds, he actually went and bought an engagement ring. So his business expense was a engagement ring. So happy engagement. Crazy stories in real estate. I mean, all of those. I've got another property right now that's in a probate situation, and just we have to get marketable title. that's got all sorts of fun attached to it as well. We've been trying to sell that property since January. So real estate is definitely throwing its curveballs right now. And I have stories for days. So, if not weeks. So just a few things that are happening. Today has been just especially interesting. And the real estate market in Greenville is not slowing down. It is definitely interesting to see how things go. Sometimes houses sell in a weekend. Sometimes it takes 30 to 60 to 90 plus days to sell a house, just depending on where it is. We've got a lot of that. So we're going to talk some numbers tonight. I've got some different types of development that we're going to chat through. We're going to look at, and just some interesting articles. Want to do that. But most importantly, I want to make sure I answer your questions live, go through any questions you might have, and then let's just talk about like what's going on in the Upstate. So doesn't have to be Greenville specific. We cover the entire Upstate from all the way to the Upstate to the North Carolina line in some areas, so the Spartanburg area, all the way down into Anderson. No problem, near the lakes and whatnot. It's a lot of fun. So definitely want to chat through that, want to look at it and see what's happening this year. So 2025, I think, is definitely poised to be an interesting year. I don't think it's going to be a bad year in development or in real estate, but definitely it's going to be interesting. So to start out though tonight, I do want to kind of remind us back to a live that we had, golly, it's probably been about a month or two ago now, with the mayor of Travelers Rest. Now, we had Mayor Brandy Amadon on the show, and we kind of skirted around the Paris Mountain Hotel. Now, that has been moving right along, and the different meetings and council meetings have been going on. And most recently, there was a planning committee meeting here in Travelers Rest, and it was voted unanimously against the hotel, but it hasn't gone to the council yet, and it hasn't gone to the city council and mayor. And it's a board of about 8 or 9 people, and it does have to have a majority. So it's not something that has been completely squished yet, but it is something that we'll see how it goes. I think I'm comfortable enough saying right now that I think I'm for it, even though a lot of people are against it, or at least the loudest people are against it. I think it would be a really cool thing and a really good thing for our area. If you want more information on that, I'm happy to go into it, because we're feeling a little spicy tonight. So I have no problem talking to you about the things that I am looking forward to, if something like that, because if it's not that, it's going to be something else is going to move in. And if it's not that somebody's upset about, they're going to be upset about something else. So, all right. So if you are just joining us tonight, do me a favor, go into the comments. Let me know where you are watching from, because it's always fun to see where you are watching from. And then also, this is our community. This is something that, we kind of come together. If you have a question, or if you are here, maybe you'll meet somebody here and you'll know some people whenever you're around here. So let's go over the comments here. Hey, Eric, how's it going? Hey, Cynthia. Chai tea, you are correct. Oh, okay. We're going to put this up here. Sold your house in Florida in one day with 2 full price offers. Bravo. Very good. I am not hearing about that very often right now. Had an inspection, waiting for appraisal soon. Moving along, getting excited to head to South Carolina. Yay! I'm very excited about that. Very, very good. Yeah, that is not a story that I'm hearing on a regular basis about houses in Florida selling quickly. If anything, I hear about them not selling quickly. I think I've mentioned it a couple times now that I do have a client that their house it's taking some time. And hopefully their area hasn't depreciated, but it's definitely a pretty active conversation around what do they need to do to get their house sold. So all of those things. All right. Well, without further ado, excuse me. I have some of this tea, man. Let's talk about Greenville market. So, you know this, I talk about real estate. This is the thing. And we did when I say we, my brokerage did a pretty deep dive on some numbers for the first quarter when it comes to the real estate market and what's happening. And what I can tell you right now is that, yes, the market is still slowing down, but if you believe it or not, we're still seeing like units sold up. So let's go over here. I'm going to go ahead and share a screen. Let's do this. Awesome. All right. So over here, we're actually, let's see here if I can make this bigger. Hey, there we go. And let's just make everything bigger. Technology has not been my friend today. All right. So numbers sold. And I know that you guys are like, graphs, so on. Well, we're going to say like, okay, who's actually moving and what price points? Here's the thing. This looks at basically the South Carolina area and then part of Georgia as well. 2024 is gray, 2025 is red. And here we go. So numbers sold. Here we go. Overall, Greenville is up 8.6%. Columbia is up 5.5%. The Charlotte market is flat. They are not selling any more houses than they did last year. Atlanta is down 6%, and the Savannah area is down 14%. So I think those are some pretty drastic numbers that says that the Upstate is a happening place. And it kind of shows where some of the market is starting to slow down. Same thing here. We can see below 200,000 houses are like the number sold is way, way down. And here's what I can say for that. There just isn't inventory in that price range anymore here. So I would say that's why it's down. But here we go, year over year, 200 to 250, 250 to 300, 300 to 350 is up, 350 to 450. So here's what I want you to see here in these numbers is that the Upstate average price point is about 330 to 360. And it sits in that range. And so it makes sense to me why those numbers are up. But here's the interesting part. 450 to 650 is up. 650 to a million is also up. And then 1 million plus is up 25.6%. So just over 25.5%. That means we have more and more homes, more and more people in some of these upper price points that are coming here to the area and buying homes. So that's really interesting. Here's the fun one. And this is actually, you guys that fall within this generation, I want you to know that you're my biggest clientele. So right now, home buyers in 2024, I want you to look this, 42% of home buyers are the baby boomer generation. And typically the people that I work with are 45 to 65 years old. That is the largest group that we work with. However, millennials are coming in hot at 29%, and the Gen Xers in between there, the silent generation, also down here at 4%. Yes, I have helped some very old people buy houses on 30-year mortgages. It's kind of funny. So with this as well, here's what I want you to know about this graph is that we are seeing that we are still in a seller's market, even whenever inventory seems to be sitting. So here's what I want you to see here. A balanced market is 6 to 7 months. Seller's market is 0 to 6 months. So anything below 6 months worth of inventory is a seller's market. Anything over that. And the only balanced market we're seeing is the $1 million plus. And that price point in the upstate is actually selling more homes than some of the others. So it's very, very interesting. Let's see here. What else do we want to show here? The rest of this goes over, okay, are we overpricing our homes? Are we you cannot underprice a home. I will say that. We're seeing let's see here, days on market is down for first quarter, but then we see it kind of change over. So 250 to 300 days on market is up. 300 to 350 days on market is down. 350 to, and this makes sense here because it's the average days on market. So even some of these lower price ranges, the houses look like they're sitting on the market longer. So why am I showing all this to you? I think that's the biggest question, because we're talking about real estate some days and sometimes, and we're like, well, aren't we going to talk about some development tonight, Aubree? Yes, we are definitely going to talk about some development. I want to talk about our new neighborhoods around and what I'm seeing. But I show all of this to show you that if you are looking here in the upstate and you're like, I'm thinking about making this change, or let's go ahead and start looking. Or if you're local and you're watching us here and you're like, hey, I'm not sure if we should sell the house. I would make sure that you're looking at what your days on market are, how long you can expect, and then price the house right. Don't overprice it. If your realtor says, hey, let's go to this number and you feel like it's too high, say something. The worst that could happen is that you price it lower and you get multiple offers. Who doesn't want that? So definitely just real estate market in general right now, I'm still seeing houses overpriced. I am seeing more and more houses, though, at least I feel like more and more houses priced competitively where they're supposed to be, where I'm seeing more houses going under contract in a weekend, more houses with small multiple offers, not anything crazy. We're also seeing just overall, we're seeing some serious inventory move again. But here's one of the biggest things as well here in our area, here in our market, is that you need to know that nationally, the resale market is as low as, like, it's not been this low in solds since 1995. Like, it's been a very long time since we have not sold as many resales as we should. So the resale market here in Greenville is definitely hurting. It's hurting because there's 42% of our entire housing market is new construction. And I hear so many people that get upset about that there's so much development. Well, yes, there is. We're catching up from a housing deficit of not being able to build houses during the housing crisis. So yes, there's a lot of building, but we're catching up, which means hopefully it'll all start evening itself back out. I don't know. We shall see how that exactly goes. But I'm watching it, and resale in Greenville area, like if you're coming into town to buy a house resale, there is negotiation power there. If you're coming in for the new construction, there's a little bit of negotiation. If you're a cash offer on a new construction, take an offer $10,000 low. If you are a financed offer on new construction, most likely you're going to have to take a list price offer. all different things that we talk through, all different things that we walk through. That's what I do with my clients. And that's what Christy does with her clients on our team. So that's the whole thing is if you're interested in this and you're like, well, I want to have a more in-depth conversation. So we do have this nifty QR code up here that if you're interested in more information or you want to reach out, or hey, you're like, we're coming into Greenville and we've never been, or we're making our decision right now if Greenville's the right place for us, scan the QR code. It'll take you to our website. Request a free relocation packet. It's something that we will mail to you. It's full of fun paper things. There's a Greenville magazine, a map, a little bit of swag, so on and so forth. And it's just something fun that we can send you real fast about the Greenville Upstate and be able to get you kind of introduced to what's going on here. All right, so let's come back over here to the comments, see what's going on. Hey, hi, Olivia. How's it going? You're from Santa Barbara. Hey, there we go. Coming to us in September. Love that. And then, okay, John is in the house. Ah, cool. Cynthia and John making some connections. There we go. All right, so let's go straight into some of this. I'm sure that if you guys follow any news around the Upstate, there's things that happen all over. So we've got people that are looking not only in Greenville. I've got somebody down in Lexington right now that's looking at some houses. And so we pay attention to stuff all over. If it's something that's interesting, we're going to bring it up. So with that, I found this. This is actually from earlier this year. So there are 4 trails expected to begin work in Greenville, or just in the Upstate. We'll say it like that because they're not specifically Greenville, but they are expected to begin work. Now we're looking at the Swamp Rabbit Trail Orange Line Extension. So this is a 2-mile connector that right now it's in design process and so on, but this goes into that main, we'll say, project for the Swamp Rabbit Trail that they are extending this, which I'm really, really thankful to see. Then we have Wheeled Sports Park. So the 10-acre park for skateboarding, biking, right there next to the Greenville Downtown Airport. We've talked about the skate park a little bit. Sounds like it's getting some traction and a whole bunch of design happening right now. Then you also have, again, the Swamp Rabbit is getting some upgrades, which some areas of the trail definitely need. So we're seeing this now. The half-mile segment that connects Unity Park to downtown. So if you've been to Unity Park, you've seen this. It is a very wide section of the trail that runs right outside of the Commons. And so in that specific area, yes, it's always busy over there. There's running groups, there's tons of cyclists, people with strollers, jogging strollers, so on. So I'm glad that that's going to be getting some work. And then we also have the airport loop trail. So 4.5 miles worth of project. And this is looking to a feasibility test. Love that word, that way of saying it. So let's see where this heads. So the runway loop trail, let's go here. Looks like this is, again, right outside of the Greenville Downtown Airport. And it's just going to loop the airport, which is kind of fun. You can see there's a lot of I don't know, it's fun to watch the airplanes take off and whatnot. But there's a mini golf over there. There's a small restaurant. Then there is also the big playground there as well, the park. So just a lot of good things to see. Now, here, 12 upcoming and ongoing trails all around Greenville. This is just, again, this is a lot of fun. I like to look at it, see what's going on. We know that the Swamp Rabbit Trail is headed out to Fountain Inn, and it's going to head that direction. Now, do I know how far exactly it goes right at this moment? No, I'm sorry, I don't. But it is something that is coming soon. This is just a lot of fun. Like when people get out and they're outside, they're on bikes, rollerblades, they're running, walking, so on. I think it gives a lot of people the community that they're looking for. So a lot of people want to live close to the Swamp Rabbit Trail. They want to live at least not too far from it. Especially, I hear people go, well, what's the walkability look like? And there's definitely some areas that I think go under the radar, especially in like the Sans Souci area, that is super walkable to the Swamp Rabbit, but most people don't know to look there because the Swamp Rabbit's running through the area. So just some quick tips and things that I see that I think are pretty interesting. Okay, so next, I saw this in the news earlier this week. Thought this is pretty interesting. So we have private South Carolina University closing after the fundraising failed. So Limestone College is a private Christian university out of Columbia that has been trying to keep its doors open, and they have failed. So it is going to be closing. It's something where it's just and I've seen this show up in the news quite a bit here this week, that this college and you've got students that are mid-degree, everything, that they're having to scramble to figure out, okay, well, what do we do next? So just again, part of the news here around South Carolina, and they did try to do a whole bunch of fundraising. They fundraised a little over $2 million. Their goal and need was $6 million, and they just couldn't get it. So with that, school's closing. It's sad to hear it, sad to see it. And there we go. So definitely something that I'm like, we hear about stuff like that all the time. It's not just colleges, it's churches, it's restaurants, it's businesses, that something happens, something, with the books or their numbers, it doesn't work out. But I will say this about just South Carolina in general, especially the Upstate. The Upstate is a place where there's a lot of entrepreneurs. A lot of people start businesses. A lot of people see opportunity. So when I see stuff like this of, a college having to close their doors, that's a really sad story of like, well, what happened to get them there? Was it not getting enough students? And I went to a really conservative Christian university as well. And I understand, like, I've watched that university decline. And so I went to it. If you get here in the area, I went to Bob Jones University, very conservative Christian university. And like its student population from whenever I was in school has significantly decreased. And it used to be that around Greenville, you could pick out who the BJU students were because they were always in long skirts. They always had long hair. And you could just tell they were BJ students. Not so much anymore. Rules have changed. When I went to school, it used to be skirts below the knees, pantyhose, like everything. You had to dress fairly conservative. Now they can wear business casual. They can wear pants. The whole of that just kind of gives you a little bit of an insight to where I say Greenville is the buckle of the Bible Belt. So, all right, let's see here. Cynthia, I see your question over here real fast. Any idea what they charge for HOA fees in O'Neill Village? funny you should mention that. I actually have 2 listings in O'Neill Village right now. And I can tell you by looking it up. Shameless plug for my listing on 200 Noble Street. This is the MLS. This is what we're looking at, the multiple listing service. The HOA fee is $650 a year, my friend. And it includes common areas. There is a Y within, it says exercise facility, but it is a YMCA. Lights, recreational path, there's sidewalks, some walking paths, there's a playground, a great pool, there's a dog park, and some really good green space as well in O'Neill Village. So, and also, again, shameless plug, this is one of my listings in O'Neill Village at 200 Noble Street, priced at $415,000. And yes, they need to sell it. So they are a sweet family, though. Great house. I helped them build this house about 6 or 7 years ago, and now they're selling it. So anyways, if you're interested, you should reach out to me with that QR code over here and say, hey, 200 Noble Street, that's a great house. Tell me more about it. So I'd love to send you more information. This house does probably have the best view in the entire neighborhood. Just going to say, that's from the upstairs balcony. Cynthia, no, it doesn't have a master on main. It is upstairs. So, see, shameless plug. I can do those things. All right. So moving on here. Let's see here. Before I go on here, John, you're right. Yes. I have heard some crazy things about some HOA fees here recently. Yes, some very, very expensive HOA fees, upwards of $1,000 to $2,000. It's insanity. All right, let's go ahead and look at our next little thing here about some development that we've got going on. So Greenville Tech is breaking ground on a center for welding and automotive excellence. So basically welding and auto. There's what it's going to look like. And so Greenville Tech is a pretty decent, it's the community college here where people, whenever, if you're not sure about university or anything like that, highly suggest going to Greenville Tech. And so they'll be building up this new facility, and it's expected to be completed somewhere, what is this, in the next year and a half. So this was a fun little stat that I did see here, is that they are expected to need 320,500 new welding professionals by 2029. And that just goes to show, one, that things are still growing and we still need these, I would call them a trade that not as many people go into these days. So to me, I really think that this is something that is definitely needed. It's something I really enjoy seeing, that they are putting, so many people complain about, oh, you're putting money towards this type of development. Well, hey, look, this is not just building the community college. It's going to help just overall, because I've seen schools specifically get rid of the trades over the last decade. I was talking about Bob Jones University earlier, and they used to have a lot of the trade programs, and they got rid of all of them. And it didn't make sense to me at the time, because that's something that's needed. Not everybody can be an engineer or a lawyer or a doctor. We need those trades: electricians, plumbers, welders, mechanics, so on. Those are all trades. So seeing this is really, really good. And it's going to be quite the big facility here, that it looks really great. Kind of go through some of the quick pictures here, the renderings of what it's going to look like. And technology is advancing so quickly that we need to make sure that we have these people who know what they're doing to build and to advance. So it's fun that it's happening here in Greenville. All right, let's go ahead and keep going. Let's see here. And, ooh, Mark, hey, coming on here. I'm gonna make sure that I look into that. I'll tell you something whenever you're looking at listings from houses that are listed on Greenville MLS. Greenville has this awful thing. Let me show you why they don't show up. Let's go look at the MLS. So see this right here where it says 2,200 to 2,400. That square footage range doesn't always show up. And we've brought it up to our MLS, our multiple listing service. We've brought it up to our real estate board. I don't know why they're not showing up, but you can always reach out to me. You can always ask, and let me see if I can't figure it out. But let's go back to this, and then, yeah, let's keep going. All right, so Jacob, hey, hello, you're back in here. You asked a question before the live even started tonight and asked if I had any opinions on the On the Trail project. And dude, it's been a long time since I've actually heard about it. So I'm glad that you brought it up. So I did. I looked it up. See, there's a cute little picture of a dog. Why not? Just to add, whatever. So originally, it was $2 billion for the On the Trail Greenville development. And it's a cleanup around this area. Now, I did some I went through and kind of researched a little bit, and there's really nothing that has been brought up about the On the Trail Greenville project here recently. They've called it a Superfund site, and it's something where they're looking to revitalize the Union Bleachery, which is still in disrepair, but it's going to be around a mill. Any of these mills, I think, that are in disrepair, I really enjoy seeing them come back to life. That's what I'm interested in seeing more of. Anytime that there's buildings in disrepair or different areas that aren't necessarily being used to their highest capacity, that's something that if it's around Greenville, the development's already there. It needs to go ahead and get it done. So this is definitely in their project. It is something that, as I was kind of clicking around on it, it's still in talks and whatnot. They want it to extend and connect all the way to the Paris Mountain State Park. Now, with that, I think it's something that we definitely should. I don't know. There's so much circling around Paris Mountain right now. I think that this has kind of gotten forgotten about at the moment, with everything being talked about with the hotel that may or may not still happen. We don't know. But yes, the concept pictures definitely make it look like another little downtown. This picture specifically reminds me of the backside of the Commons right now, and with all of its seating and then down to the trail. So I don't know. This will be interesting. I haven't heard a lot about it here recently, but I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open on it, and hopefully I can come back to you with some good updates. Yeah. So let's see here. Go back into this. Jacob, someday, possibly. Right now, we're pretty good, but I'm always looking to grow, my friend. Always, always. And then Mark, you're putting the address in Zillow to get it. That's so weird. Okay, I'm going to check in on your search. So what Mark's referring to is if you're thinking, even if you're about a year and a half, 2 years out, it's not too early necessarily to reach out, have a quick conversation with myself, Christy, Konzi, somebody from the team, and say, hey, we're thinking about it. Can you answer some questions about Greenville? What I'm also doing is we're setting up searches on the MLS for, everything to get listings. And if you're thinking about it, because houses here in the Greenville area definitely look different than, say, a house in Scottsdale, Arizona, or a house in Minnesota, or someplace in Tennessee. Every area has a little bit of a different house, or Florida, for example, because houses are built for hurricanes or earthquakes or fire protection, or I don't know, Greenville houses are just built for regular southern weather. Not hurricanes, apparently, which is what we experienced last year, September. That is not the thing, but it is something that definitely, they're different. So we set you up on a search and we just start letting the system send you listings. It's something that it's free. It's something that we love to do, but we do have to set up a conversation first. So with that, let's see if we've got anybody else over here in the comments. And then I think we might be about done tonight. Let's see here. Oh, John, my opinion for the best pizza and Mexican food in TR. That's a great question that I'm not 100% sure. If I had to choose where to get pizza, Sidewall is always fun, but it is a little expensive. My favorite place is Pizza and Then Some, and it's actually right outside of Travelers Rest, and it's less bougie than a lot of the pizza places in the Travelers Rest area. But there's that. There's a pizza spot called Stoner's Pizza that is in Travelers Rest right off of 25. That's pretty good. Yeah. And then, I think that would be Pizza and Then Some. Sidewall is just always good. You're just going to pay for it. It's a little bit more expensive. And then Stoner's Pizza. And then Mexican food, I don't have a great Mexican food spot in Travelers Rest, to be honest with you. Now, they are putting a Tipsy Taco in TR. That's fun, off of Main Street. I am excited about that because I do love myself some Tipsy Taco. Farmhouse Taco, it's okay. So I'll eat there. It's not my favorite. Chicora Alley in Travelers Rest, I think often it gets overlooked. It's not a Mexican place. It's kind of a hodgepodge of things. That's where you can go there and ask for it's a grape queso, but it's not grape flavored. It's actual queso cheese, and they put grape slices, like regular, like green or purple grapes, in the cheese, like normal queso. It's interesting. You got to try it. It's completely different than you've ever had before. So Chicora Alley, and try that. The menu changes though. I think it's still on there. So, oh geez. All right, guys. Well, with that, told you today, it's been a crazy day and a crazy week. Real estate is on fire. We have so much going on in the market. We have houses that are sitting. We have houses that are selling really fast. I've got one that I put on the market that literally will probably be under contract by the end of the weekend. So it's happening still. It's a lot of fun, and that's what we do. So if you are still watching though, and you're like, hey, Aubree, we want more information, please come over here, scan the QR code. We would love to have you reach out to us, ask your questions, and we reach out to you pretty quickly. And then at the same time, too, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please do that because we do these types of videos. We do live streams every week, Thursday night at 8 o'clock. And then we release new videos weekly on Sunday mornings. So with that, y'all, you have a good rest of your Thursday. Have a great weekend. I know I've got a crazy weekend planned. There's like 3 or 4 of you guys that are in town to look at houses, and I'm going to be out and about, super busy with you. So I've got to go do that. And that's it. So you guys have a good one, and I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye.